Hello and welcome to Candidates on the Clock, hosted by the Newton Chamber of Commerce, sponsored by Dual Deco Search Engine Marketing and Onyx Media Services. I'm your host, Lanier Sims. Today we're joined by incumbent Ezell Brown, who's running for sheriff in Newton County. To start us out, Mr. Brown, could you introduce yourself, provide us an overview of your career in law enforcement? Following that, could you discuss your platform for sheriff and what inspired you to run for re-election?
Yes, good evening. My name is Ezell Brown. I am the Sheriff of Newton County. As stated, I'm honored to be here today. I have more than 45 plus years in the law enforcement field. My last 15 years, 4 months have been as sheriff. Prior to that, I was with the sheriff's office. I was there some 30 years rather. 28 of those years was a supervisor from the beginning of sergeant all the way to captain. I've worked every division in the office of sheriff. I have graduated from Albany Tech, also graduated from Columbus State University Professional Management course. So with that said, I am currently the president of the Georgia Sheriff's Association. I'm also a board member of the Georgia Military Academy, Piedmont Academy. Also, I'm a board member of the Georgia Peace Officer Standard and Training Council. So with that said, my professionalism goes back decades, and I am running for re-election. This will be my 5th term. I'm running as re-election, and whether you know it or not, we're in our 201 year anniversary of the office of sheriff in Newton County. And in those years, I am the 29th sheriff. So I think that means a lot when you think of 29 sheriffs in a total of 201 years. I think it means that the citizens of the county have always embraced their sheriff, and I am the product of almost 60 to 70 years of continuous leadership there at the office of sheriff. I'm going to continue to run on promises made, promises kept, and that I am the candidate to lead this community forward in the next coming years.
Thank you, sir. So we're going to jump into a few questions. Question number 1 is, what strategies do you propose for preventing and reducing crime here in Newton County?
One of the things that we have put in place, we have what we call a crime analyst unit, and that unit is designed to do forecasting of information and getting it out to all of our units there, whether it's patrol or whether or not it's special investigations or whether it is warrants division or whatever the case may be. This unit is designed and targeted, and there are a lot of factors that I cannot tell you because of the technology that is involved, because I've always looked at it as being this: if the criminal knows exactly all that we have in place, then they will outsmart us. So we have a criminal intelligence division that does forecasting and getting that proper information to our various divisions, which is every last one of them is needed. We have the constitutional duty and authority. There are certain things that we have to carry out as the office of sheriff. We can't do like police departments. We can't delete divisions. We have to service the courts. We have to service of warrants. It's mandated that we service, process, and service civil papers. So every position that we have in place is a needed position for this community. All of those commissioners work in coalition with the crime analyst unit. We also have individuals here locally, also individuals who are statewide, as well as federal partners who are working with us daily in combating our drug and our crime issues within our community. And I can go on to say, I believe that is the reason why our crime in our community is lower today than years ago. As I stated many times before, and I stand on those facts, when I took office, we had more than 800 to 900 burglaries a year. Now we are down to less than 200 burglaries a year. Why? It's because we do what I call community policing in a proactive way. That's what we do. Community policing in a proactive way, meaning that we engage the community, and not only just engaging the community, because we realize that they have more eyes than we will ever have as an agency. And we always say to them, if you see something, say something. And again, those platforms that we have, I cannot divulge those platforms today.
Thank you, sir. Our next question, how will you promote community engagement and collaboration between law enforcement and residents?
Again, it goes back to what I have said earlier, promoting community engagement. It goes to, one is where we have our back to school events, we have our champs, we have our community outreach, we have our toy giveaways, we have our guardian angels, we have a variety of platforms that are designed to bring the community together. We have more than 300 partners in our community that support our community at each and every event that we have in terms of sponsorship. Again, we have the random act of kindness. This is where deputies, if they encounter a family with a problem or a situation, let's say if the deputy goes into this home and realizes that there's not food on the table, random acts of kindness will also provide food for this family. Random acts of kindness will also assist in other means. We have the deputies who care. There's an array of programs that work closely with neighborhood watches activities and the philosophy of saving the citizens, and also the philosophy again, if you see something, say something. And we have a unified front with our champs as well as our proactive patrolling techniques that we're using each and every day. And again, we do not believe in progressive patrolling. We believe in proactive patrolling. It has worked. It has brought the crime down in Newton County, and we will continue to use that philosophy in bridging the gap between law enforcement and the community. And I pledged even years ago when I first started to run for this office, I pledged to make my organization, our organization, a part of this community, becoming a household name, my name becoming a household name. And I believe we have achieved that goal, and I certainly believe that is the reason why many, many citizens have rallied around me during this time and say, run again, because there's many other things that need to be done here in our community. And I feel certain, and I know that I'm the man for that, with more than 40 plus years of service right here in this community. I didn't run off when I could have gone to the Marshal's Unit or wherever the case may be. I stayed here because I love this community, and I will continue to fight for this community.
Thank you, sir. Our next question, how will you ensure that deputies receive ongoing training to handle evolving law enforcement challenges and uphold professional standards effectively?
Well, let me just put it this way here. We go over and above the 20 hours that are required by post. As I said earlier, I am a strong proponent of professionalism. I believe that we are where we are today because of the training that we receive. We go over and beyond, again, the 20 hours. We very close with the governor's initiative in community policing, gang awareness, and his wife, the governor's wife, human trafficking. We log in more than 16,000 hours at the Office of Sheriff there by providing professional training and leadership to our command staff as well as every officer there with the office of sheriff. We also log in more than 1,000 hours away from the office, getting other professional development that they can bring back to the office. And I think if you would look at those individuals who have left our agencies and gone other places, many of them are head of states, they're chief of police, they're with the federal government because of the hours that they received in the training and professionalism they received in the training there at the office of sheriff. Again, we are number one in the FBI leaders training, recognizing as being the top hosting agency in the state of Georgia. And our training is extensive training, average. Again, I think it made Newton County a safer place called home for all, and providing critical strategies to our units, preparing employees to lead the department and state and federal level. Again, we would not be who we are today. I would not be who I am today. I'm the president, again, of the Georgia Sheriff's Association. That's a professional development for me, but it's also a professional development for the office of sheriff. And I am, again, on many other boards, but most importantly, we have the highly trained individuals, I would believe, than any other agency in the state and abroad. We have to maintain these hours of development, professional development, in order to maintain our gold standards with CALEA. We are number 4 out of 159 in Georgia. We are number 43 in the nation out of 3,200. And less than 100 agencies in the United States of America and abroad have achieved what we have achieved. So I'm very proud of our organization.
Thank you, sir. Next question. What measures will you implement to ensure the responsible use of force by law enforcement officers and promote accountability?
Use of force is something that's a very touchy subject. And I'll say that because that's what motivated me to be who I am today. I witnessed an elderly black woman when I was between 7 and 9 years old. I knew then that it was excessive use of force. That day, a seed was planted in my heart that day that I would grow up and be a police officer, that I would be someone that every young girl, every young man, every young boy, every young lady would grow up and say, I want to be just like him. That inspired me because the officers that abused that female on that day, I could not look up to them, but I looked up to the uniform. And the CALEA accreditation, again, the gold standards in public safety achieved during my administration, it sets us apart. Again, we are number 43 out of 159, and again, that we are we're number 4 out of 159, and we're number 43 out of 3,200 plus in the United States. And that's directing the link to our philosophy about our interaction with individuals operating on the wrong side of the law. Training in this area is required, and we have had no issues, not one issue with the use of force, and we do not have a case against us today. And it is my goal that we will never have a case against us, because I believe, and again, patrolling in the way that we patrol, being proactively, avoid us from being put in situation where you're out there going after individuals progressively. Being proactively, again, is my motto. It has been very helpful in keeping things in its proper perspective, and I'm proud of my organization.
Thank you. Our next question, how do you plan to improve law enforcement responses to mental health crises and provide support to individuals in need?
We have the same challenges that plague our streets as well as our jail. 50 to 60% of our jail population are on some psychotropic medication. We have taken into consideration, we have interviewed rather, an individual this past week, which we were bringing on, will be a co-responder who will be addressing the issues with our officers in the streets with them daily. We call this our crisis intervention training, a crisis intervention team. Many of these classes are offered by the Georgia Public Safety Training Center, the Georgia Department of Behavioral Health, and the Development of Disabilities and National Alliance for Mental Illness. And all of our officers are part of this CIT training. Again, when I say that 50 to 60% of our jail population is on some form of psychotropic drugs, I believe by bringing on this co-responder is going to reduce that number of individuals in the jail. It's also with the programs, the mental health program that we have in the jail, we are now sending individuals back out to their homes and to their respective location, follow up with medication, a follow-up making sure that the proper resources that they need once leaving the jail is carried on once they go back to society. And with that, that is a help to our community, that is a help to law enforcement, and that is a help to what I would say the state of Georgia. So I am proud of what we are doing in the mental health area. There's always room for improvement, but I would still say, again, we are one of the gold stars and gold standards in making sure that our residents receive the proper care, proper needs, and the proper follow-ups that is needed to help with mental health.
Thank you. Our next question, what approaches will you take to combat drug-related crime and address substance abuse issues within the community?
Again, that goes back to what I said earlier in terms of we have individuals that are assigned to drugs that works each and every day with the officers here in the streets, as well as those that are assigned to these specialized units. We have designated officers, local and on state and federal levels. And officers, again, offender has the big ears. And I cannot go into all of the strategies that we have, but technology has become a critical piece of our crime prevention strategies. Again, we have our crime analysts and intelligence unit analyzing the crime daily. We have our chance prevention that begins with the education of our children, and we have graduated more than 30,000 of those fifth graders at this level. Again, we have 19 plus jail programs in the jail that aid and help those who are going back. And those who are going back have an impact on those who are yet fighting those drug addictions in the streets. We have many success stories where individuals leave the jail, go back to the streets, and then become an advocate for the officer's share on saving the community. More to prevention crime than make an arrest. Many of us, we think that crime prevention is make an arrest. I can tell you that's not the case. I was there when we had the war on drugs. It didn't work. It didn't work. So with that said, it is not appropriate, again, to give all our strategies to our offenders. They have big ears too, and they're listening. But I can tell you we have the state-of-art crime analysts and intelligence unit that provide information to not just one group of officers, but every group of officers that is needed. Now, there are certain information that goes out or that comes in that we may not be able to give to one particular unit because it may impact an investigation. It could impact something that's going on a federal level or state level. But those that need to know on the day-to-day, patrolmen's, civil division, warrant division, and also court service as well as transport. Those individuals will receive what I would call non-classified information. That classified information will stick solely within that investigation unit and those individuals on the local and state and federal level.
Thank you. Next question, how will you work to prevent the formation of gangs and intervene effectively to disrupt gang activity in Newton County?
Again, through our community policing policy, with the proactive patrolling and partnership with building the bridges between law enforcement and the community, building a positive relationship, again, with citizens and promote the faith in blue that we have been promoting ever since 2019. The uniform and specialized units being directed by crime analysts and our intelligence unit. We work closely with our school system. Again, we have logged in more than 30,000 CHAMPS students here within our community. And then we have other educational activities that we also provide, and by fostering our young adults to be a part of. We participate with their games. We also participate with going to the proms. We also participate not only just football, but basketball. And many of us there at the office of sheriff, often we're looked up to. I have more cousins, more nephews than I ever thought that I would have, because everybody say that I'm their uncle in some means or another. Not just me, but many others within our community, such as my staff. Many of them are very connected with our school. So again, that information funneled from the school to our school resource officers, from the school resource officers to our intelligence unit, and our intelligence unit always gathering information that could be collected and used in combating those areas. And again, the criminals, the offender they have is, and I cannot get into the specifics as far as the technology that we use to keep crime where it is today. I offer that to you if you want to come over and just see it, but we have a state-of-art crime analyst division.
Thank you. Our next question piggybacks on your last response. How do you intend to collaborate with schools to ensure a safe learning environment for students and staff?
Our relationship with schools extend back 25 plus years. We are the principal provider for law enforcement services there at the schools. We have instructors, we have facilitators of CHAMPS at all elementary schools, and again, school resource officers at middle and high school. Again, it goes back to what I said earlier. We've graduated more than 30,000 champions. I call them my champs, and we participate in all of their sports activity, outgoing to the proms and again to their graduation. We take the kids to Atlanta. We take the kids to rodeos. They come and visit the office of sheriff. We go to their communities and we share with them the positive things of to include how to stay away from gangs, how to stay away from violence, how to stay away from drugs. And again, it goes back to what I said earlier. Many of those students, because we have become a household name, many of those students look up to us as we're part of their family. Again, many of them call me, I'm their uncle, Uncle Ezell. The same way with Uncle Greg, and the list goes on, because I feel that they have made a positive impact, and I feel that myself, we have made a positive impact within our school system. We have gotten very along with every last one of our superintendents. We have great relationships. Even the current superintendent who has just been here, we have an outstanding relationship, and he supports our CHAMPS program and all that we do. All of our teachers in our school applaud us for coming in. And not only when we are teaching CHAMPS, we are in and out of the schools daily. We're in and out of schools daily. The CHAMP officers, the community outreach, and even the patrol division. Some of them they go to the schools and they'll have lunch. So we have a great relationship with the school. Better, I would say, perhaps better than any, because we have fostered that over the past 25 years. The board is very appreciative of us, and we're very appreciative of the board for what they have allowed us to do over the years. And we're going to continue that positive relationship with the board, because we know as long as we have a positive relationship with the board, then it's impacting the lives of each and every last one of our students within the school systems and abroad.
Thank you. What steps will you take to increase transparency in the operations of the sheriff's office and build trust with the community?
Transparency and accountability. Most, if not all, know that I have what I call an open door policy. Integrity and honesty is the top of my priority. I believe, and I have always said, and you've been a commissioner in the past, I have always mentioned the fact of holding our feet to the fire. I have said that. And I feel that my feet should be held to the fire as I hold my officers' feet to the fire, because it's importantly that we link to the pursuit of various accreditation. The reason why I say that, holding up the gold standards of our accreditation, it's a must in order for us to keep our accreditation as a gold standard, a gold star agency. We have to have an open door policy. We have to have transparency. I believe if we did not have transparency, I don't believe the governor would have awarded me an accommodation. I wouldn't be holding the various heads of organization memberships or president, so forth and so on. We have an open records request, and that's one of the things I urge anyone to come. Any facts that they want to know, we never attempted to hide any facts at all. Open records, to me, is the Bible to being successful. When you try to avoid, or you try to hide something, or you lie about something, then you got to continue to try to lie and avoid to get yourself out of a given situation. Integrity, honesty is top of my priority. Character matters to me, and that means a lot. So I extend to anyone who would like to know anything about the office of sheriff. Our doors is open. We'll sit down and go over whatever you want to go over, or you just send an open records request. We have our open records division there at all times, many times, all the time. Those requests comes in. When they come in, I never even know that some of them are in, because I don't want to be a party of anything that may go out, and people may say, well, that's the sheriff doing.
Understood. Thank you. Next question. How will you ensure that the sheriff's office is prepared to respond to emergencies and natural disasters, coordinating with other agencies for effective response and recovery efforts?
Just in March, we had a tabletop conversation. It was called Tabletop Continuity of Operation Plan March. We had that at the office of sheriff. And as a matter of fact, again, in order to hold our gold star standards, it's one of the policies of CALEA. And that policy number is 46.1.13. And that governed our standing with CALEA. We brought together every first responder here within our community, law enforcement, fire service, ambulance service, hospital staff, school, to include, again, all local agencies and local governments. We brought them together. We had state and federal instructors. We had simulated various scenarios. We also sent out newsletters to alert if things that are going on within our community. We also have QR codes for weather, sex offenders, citizens can sign up for that. We have social media, we have the website. We also have our camera system where you can also sign up to be a part of that camera system there at the Office of Sheriff. Not that we are having eyes on you, but it gives us an opportunity to see things that are going on if need be. So that will help us as well. But again, we have a standard operation for each and every situation that could arrive here in our community. We're going to have ongoing table topics because we are going to intensify that training so that we can be prepared for any and all scenarios. And again, we had several scenarios in March, and the feedback from the federal and the feedback from the state agency that participated indicated that our tabletop was one of the best that they had attended in Georgia. So I'm very proud of that, and we will continue to, again, uphold the gold star standards of who we are.
Thank you, and thank you for participating in Candidates on the Clock. At this time, can you close us out with any additional information about you, your campaign, and how the voters can get in touch with you?
Yes, sir. First, I want to thank you all again for this opportunity. Again, I'm Ezell Brown. I'm running for my 5th term. I believe that I have much more to offer to the citizens of this great community. I have worked hard, diligently for this community over the last 45 plus years. I have brought to the table to the citizens of Newton County and abroad. We have put Newton County on the map again by being out of 159 in the state of Georgia, we're number 4. In the nation, out of 3,200 plus, we're number 43. And with that said, I believe that I know I can continue to lead the Newton County Sheriff's Office to the next level. And that next level is to maintaining who we are and building on the platform of the leadership that I have provided for my deputies and for this community. It's proven leadership. If you would look back at my platform for the past years, I've run on the platform of proven leadership. You can get in contact to my campaign by www.ezellbrownforsheriff. You can go to my Facebook page as well. And I'm very accessible, so most of the community has my cell phone number, so feel free to reach out to me. I'm no stranger to this community. I feel that this community has been great to me in order to achieve where I am today. But lastly, I feel that I have been good to this community, and I will continue to be good to this community as long as I have breath in my body, and particularly being the sheriff of one of the greatest communities in the state of Georgia. Again, thank you so much. God bless you.
Thank you.